Stellar Blade had a very successful launch both on PC and PS5. Shift Up was able to compete with major titles and developers, especially in the combat-focused RPGs genre. With over 1 million copies sold through PC alone in 72 hours, the insane well-reception Stellar Blade had would only give Shift Up a push towards considering Stellar Blade 2. Multiple sources such as Insider Gaming had mentioned a while back that Stellar Blade 2 must be in development, which was predominantly established through the Investors Presentation IR that came August this year. This Investors Presentation, as shown here, mentions Project Witches, which was speculated to launch on 2027 and had later on changed to Project Spirit. We don't understand the sudden change, however. Through the presentation itself, we can safely tell that this Project Spirit game is definitely coming out before Stellar Blade 2, considering that Stellar Blade was the very first tentative for Shift Up to release a full AAA title. The fact that it had not reached some or a lot of people's expectations in terms of narrative leaves that room to improve with Shift Up and potentially make an even better game. That concern was mentioned on an interview noted by Forbes. Shift Up CEO Kim Hyung-tae said they had to scale back certain narrative plans in the first game to ship on time, but for the sequel, they want to restore and deepen those story-rich elements. Shift Up addressed narrative criticism of the first game. They seem to be prioritizing story content more this time, and with the financial success of the first Stellar Blade, it gives them both the motivation and means to invest heavily in a sequel. Through Shift Up official website job listings on the website for Stellar Blade 2 or Stellar Blade Next Game as they had labeled it, openings for jobs like scenario writer, system designer and level designer. And with that, Kim Hyun-tae mentioned that while 2027 is a target, it's not guaranteed. Development is ongoing and timeline could shift. 2027 as a release date for Stellar Blade 2 is, in my opinion, short, and realistically it might push towards early 2028 at best. So what we can understand from all of this is that the sequel is official. We cannot exactly pinpoint how and when, although Shift Up is most likely to hold on to Stellar Blade as a quote-unquote franchise moving along, since that would present the safest and better option. One concerning element is that according to sources like Noobfeed and mainly the job hirings Shift Up is listing, the sequel is most likely to be developed using Unreal Engine 5, which is known for its poor optimization and performance in gaming recently. However, there have been games recently that seemingly prove that wrong. One of them is Arc Raiders, developed on Unreal Engine 5, yet the game had been praised for excellent optimization. One final look is at the concept art of Shift Up's posted for Stellar Blade 2. At first glance, we can see that the game is set in a much sooner approach. Maybe Shift Up is considering to strengthen the story this time through giving it also a look at the past, which would certainly be an interesting setting and would help them to consider rebuild all the narrative holes.